One of the criticisms of the red pill movement is some people will say, oh, they're too focused on money. And it's interesting. I think when people think of money, many think of fancy things, cars and your house. For me, as a kid who didn't grow up with money, to me, money meant freedom. Money meant the ability to pick up your family and move somewhere else if you need to. Money meant if your businesses was locked down in New York during the pandemic, some people were able to move to Florida and start up a new business. Others got buried, unfortunately. So for me, I feel that the message is earn money so that you can be self-sufficient, so you are not dependent on the system and you have that mobility. But I'm curious for someone like you, because you talked about being an earner. You obviously have accumulated, a lot of wealth, been very, very successful. If one of your sons came to you, honestly, and said, Dad, you know what, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a preschool teacher, or I want to be a third grade teacher, and I want to be the soccer coach, and that's what makes me really happy. Would there be any part of you that would be concerned about that in terms of will he be a sufficient earner, or would be worried about whether or not he could be a high value man just based on numerical limitations salary-wise? Does that come to mind for someone who's achieved such enormous financial stability and success like yourself?
Yeah, great question. So one, the shadow, I think the shadow is the concern. I'm more concerned about the shadow than I am about what this kid's going to decide to do with his life. So let me break these two things down. So 5 months ago, I come home and my oldest son comes in and he says, Jennifer's like, hey, babe, talk to Patrick. Everybody today was Googling Patrick Bet-David and they saw your stuff and Valuetainment came up and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, oh, awesome. Hey, Tico, so tell me about your day. I don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it? Because we have the same name. So I don't want to talk about it. So you don't want to talk about it? No, I don't want to talk about it, Dad. And he's not disrespectful. He just doesn't want to talk about it. I'm like, he never talks to me like that before. So it's bedtime. He's going upstairs. I said, I got to go talk to Tico. So I go upstairs and said, Tico, hey, what happened today? Why were you saying you didn't want to talk about it? I said, I just don't want to talk about it, Dad. And he's covering his face with a blanket. He never does that. This guy's very uncomfortable with me. So I said, can I ask you a question? He said, yes. I said, are you worried because we have the same name and you have to live up to what your daddy's done? Is that kind of your concern because everyone's Googling my picture comes up? He says, I am. I said, okay, cool, no problem. I said, that's a valid concern. I said, can I give you some options to see what you want to do? He says, yeah. I said, do you want to change your name? Let's change your name. I said, I don't want to change, I love my name. I said, do you love your name? He says, yeah. So why do you love your name? Because it's you, my first name, and my grandpa's my middle name, Gabriel. And I love my last name. I said, so you don't want to change your name? I said, no. So your concern isn't the fact that you don't want the pressure of having my name. Your concern is what? You think I want you to be me? I do. So you think I want you to run an insurance company one day and be daddy? Yes. So do you want to be? No. So you don't have to be. I said, Daddy, what do you want to do in your life? He says, Daddy, you know what I want to do in life. I said, what do you want to do? Tell me. I already know, but I want you to tell me. I want to make movies and I want to tell stories. I said, no problem. I said, but what are the 4 things we do in the Bet-David family? He says, we lead, we respect, we improve, we love. We don't bully, we don't get bullied, and we pray for 4 things: courage, wisdom, tolerance, understanding. Yes, Daddy. I said, I don't care what industry you choose to go in. The only expectation I have of you is to make sure you do those 4 things. If you go in any industry, I expect you to lead, respect, improve, and love in any situation you're in. That's the Bet-David MO. So he says, so you really don't want me to do what you do when I grew up? I said, not at all, buddy. You go do whatever you want to do. I just want to see you be your best. The only thing is when you make movies, can I go watch movies for free when your movies comes out? He says, I think I'll give you and mommy free tickets. And he's actually not going. And then we change the subject and he's now dreaming once again. Look, you and I get a chance to set the tone and the expectation with our kids. Are they going to follow that? They're going to live their own lives. Right. I only got 8 more years with this kid. That's it. He's 10. 8 more years. He's on his own. He gets to do what he wants to do without my permission.
Yeah.
So I have only 8 more years to impose my philosophies, my standards, my expectations, my method of reasoning. And he gets to choose to do whatever he wants to do with that for the next 72 years because he's most likely going to live up to 90 years old. I can't do nothing from there on. I can only be a positive influence from the back supporting him. So it wouldn't bother me if they chose to be any of that stuff as long as they led, they respected, they improved. And loved. If you choose those 4 philosophies, it's impossible for him to be a math teacher. He would eventually, if he's constantly improving, he would end up becoming the best math teacher or go to a university or end up starting his own school, because that's the only thing that happens if you focus on constantly improving, no matter what you choose to do. So that's the conversation I've had with these guys for quite a while now.
If you want to watch the full episode, you're going to click right here. And if you want to ask me a question one-on-one, you want to do a one-on-one FaceTime with a group of your friends, whatever you want, you need to download Connect right now. Click right here and let's get talking.